Hi there, Marsha Q has returned with her next video, and this one's going to be about retail work, which is what I do, and just like my perspective on things of what I love and what I hate, what drives me to drink a little bit. So let's get started. I think I wanted to be in retail since I was in high school. I used to work for Charles Webb Library as a page in Jacksonville, Florida. And my friend used to work at Assembly 6, which was like around the corner, and she would always close. So when I got off work, I would walk over there and I would end up helping her, like refolding the t shirts and just cleaning up the store. And people are like, "Do you work here?" And I was like, "Oh, no, I didn't work there. I was just always like tidying up the store. It was just crazy." And then 20 years later, here I am in retail, which I do love. I mean, I work at a plus size store and a very well known plus size store. And our sister store is one that sells alternative and gothic gear. So I'm sure you know which one it is. um, but I do love it. I love putting, plus size women in beautiful clothes. And they're not cheap. They're not overly expensive, but they're not cheap. So they're going to, you could pay for quality. So I'm just going to talk about a couple things that drive me crazy and some things I love. First, if you don't know how to show up for work, don't work in retail. If you like to party and you are not going to show up the next day when your shift, don't work in retail. If you're have a cold and can't come in to work, man, don't work in retail. You know what? I hate covering for you. Don't call in the day of and be like, "Oh, I'm not coming in today," and then I have to cover your shift and stay extra hours. My feet already hurt from working the 4 or 5 hours I've already worked, and now I've got to add yours to my shift. No matter what shoes you have on, when you work more than 4 or 5 hours standing on your feet, running around a store, your feet are going to hurt. And most places, you cannot wear tennis shoes. So, yeah, just my hint to you. Don't work in retail. Maybe it's youngins. I don't know. Maybe it's just people who have no work ethic. I don't know. I'm coming to work sick, down, or dead, so I'm always going to be there. That's me. Now, let's talk about the people who come into my store. No, you cannot try on the underwear. Figure out what size you are and buy them. Some people actually would go into the dressing room and put on underwear, take their underwear off and put on their underwear, and then not buy it and put it on the shelf. Gross. Or they'd put it over their clothes and then on, thank you, they're stretched. No, can you not do that? And stop asking me. No, you can't. Well, the other girl let me. That other girl's a moron. No, you cannot put on the underwear. We've changed the policy. We don't have strips in them. No. Okay, thank you. Any store you go to has a limit on how many clothes you can bring in. Not that we're calling you thieves, it's just a way for us to keep an eye on what goes in and what comes out of the dressing room. If I say there's 8 items, there's 8 items you can bring into a dressing room. And this does not mean, oh, I'm going to get 8 items and I'm going to have my friend bring me a whole bunch more clothes. Because no, I'm going to stop you and I'm going to take those clothes and put them on the rack. And when you finish with those 8, we can switch. And no, it does not mean that, oh, I'm finished with my clothes. We can hold this dressing room until I come back for round 2. No, I got a line of people here waiting to try on. You can go get more clothes and get back in line. We have a tiny store. That's just not going to happen. I don't like your kids. Don't have them run around my store touching everything because you know what? Oh, those little rings and shades they have on their heads, I'm watching you. Make sure you don't take those with you accidentally. You know what else? I'm going to stop your kids from running around my store and playing because that's all I need is for one of them to get hurt. And then you try to sue us because you didn't have your kids sitting where they should have been instead of running around the store making everybody else miserable. I'm just saying. T-shirt table. Must you touch them all? Can't you just look at the one that's unraveled already and look at that one? You know what it looks like? And they're already sized. They already have the size on the outside of the shirt. So you don't even have to look outside of the shirt. You can just pick the one that's your size instead of lifting them all up and unraveling them. That would be very much appreciated by me if you could do that. You know what else I'd appreciate? If you don't want something, you tried it on and you're like, "Oh no, I don't want that." Give it to me. Don't just put it anywhere. Or if you're thinking about it and you're walking around, I changed my mind. Give it to a sales associate. We would much rather you give it to us. We can put it away than you to put it just anywhere. Because more than likely, it's going to end up in clearance. And then some customer is going to come and pick it up and be like, "Well, this was in clearance. I don't get the clearance price." No, you don't. Sorry. That's just not going to happen. Now, I'm a relatively honest person. I'm a little blunt sometimes. But when I'm in the store, I try to be tactful. If there's something that you put on and you ask me my opinion, I'm going to tell you, I'm not feeling that on you. Let me go find something else for you. Because for the most part, I should know my store. And if I don't, I'll ask my manager, hey, do we have this or that? And then I'll find something else for you. Now, most importantly, I'm going to ask you first, how do you feel in it? Do you like it? Do you love it? If you like it, I love it. It doesn't matter what I think because you're the one who has to wear it. So that's just me. If you come to see me in my store, that's how I'm always going to be with you. That being said, if we have a great moment in the back and we're trying on clothes, because I normally work with the dressing rooms. So if we have a great moment and we're talking about everything and relationships and all that kind of stuff, that does not mean I'm going to give you a discount when we get to the register. And don't ask me for one. I'm not losing my job because you want a discount. We have a rewards program. Please join it and get your own discounts and coupons. Awesome. Next. Our clothes are not cheap. They're expensive, but they're not cheap. Don't whine to me about the price. Oh, your clothes are so expensive. I can't shop here. Then go somewhere else. There's Ross. There's TJ Maxx. There are plenty of other places you can go other than my store to whine about the prices. I shop in clearance. I know I can get my discount on top of clearance. So I normally will wait for things to go to clearance. Every once in a while, I may splurge on something that's regular price. But yeah, I don't want to hear you whining about the prices of clothes. I just don't really want to hear that. Now, I'm going to mention something that's a little on the delicate side for some people. Not for me, because I don't really have a filter. When it's time to close, it's time to close. I give you a running ETA. I work at a mall. There's a finite time that we're open. You know it. It's on the outside of the mall. I'm going to give you a running tally anyway. In 30 minutes, the mall will be closing. In 10 minutes, the mall will be closing. Are you going to try that on? Because we do close in 10 minutes. So it's like you don't know. Get out. That's a hint. You know why I want you out? Because 1, my feet hurt. I've already mentioned that. And 2, I still have to clean the store and they have to cash out and we have to make sure the store looks just as beautiful as it did when you came in, when we opened. So I want to do all that and go home, not to have you stay there an extra 30 minutes and I got to stay with you. Because you know, if I showed up at your job 5 minutes before, you'd throw a brick or something at me like, if you don't get out of my... You know you'd be mad if I showed up at your job making you do extra work. And no, I'm not appreciating the extra money because I'd much rather be home on my butt having a glass of wine or a glass of Framboise, the Belgian beer, instead of being at work while my feet still hurt. I know I said that 3 times. I'm just emphasizing that. My feet hurt. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I haven't mentioned about retail. Don't get it twisted. I love my job. I love what I do. I love the clothes. I actually like talking to people. I'm a real chatty person, which is why I have a blog. But some people make it really, really tough when they come into your store and their kids are screaming. Or they're eating food. I didn't mention that one. If you're eating something or drinking something, don't put it on my clothes. Can you, there's a counter. You want to put it on the counter? Put it on the counter. Don't put it on my clothes. Other people are going to buy that. They don't want your sticky gooiness all over their clothes. I'd really appreciate that. Thank you so much for not doing that. Oh, and by the way, I don't get commission at my job. So I'd appreciate it if you didn't assume I'm just trying to get you to buy stuff just because I want a commission. I'm hourly. So regardless of you buying it or not, I still get my salary. So no, I'm not trying to push you to buy clothes that you don't want. I would prefer you like what you have so you don't come back and like, Marsha, why you make me buy this? No, I really don't. I don't want you to say that. And at 9 o'clock, I really want you to go because nice Marsha disappears at 9 o'clock or 6 o'clock on Sunday. I want you out the door. I don't even want to help you after that point. I'm like, oh, man, why are you playing with me? You know I want you out the door. So just to reiterate, get out before closing. That has been Marsha's rant for the day. I hope you've appreciated it. And if you did, please give me a thumbs up. And if you'd like to make a comment about anything I missed or an experience, I would love to read it. And if you haven't already, subscribe. I do try to put 2 videos up a week. And my next one is probably going to be a K-pop one or a metal one if Avenged Sevenfold ever puts out that album they've been promising me for this year. I'd be so happy. We'll see how that goes. Anyway, that's enough for now. Marsha Q's out. Bye-bye.